sister. How are you?
Om, Om Shanti, brother. I'm fine.
Yes, sister. Um, Although people, it's a very great day for all Hindus across the globe because of this 45 days celebration in Prayagraj. But despite that, one sad thing happened 2 days back during Mauni Amavasya, where there's a huge stampede that took the life of around 30 people. Uh, at least 30 people, not sure how many died, and 90 of them were seriously injured. And people have been speaking about there will always be uh, political thing attached to any trauma, right? So the
Yes, yes.
political blaming happens. But despite that, we should understand one thing. Uh, uh, you call it God, or you call it nature or universe, whatever you call it. Before one thing very big happens, there will be a sign beforehand, so that you have to be very cautious. Actually, two signs happened. Just a week before this, in Tirupati, in
Yeah.
so in Tirumala, there's a stampede while they were trying to take tickets for darshan, Vaikunta
Vaikuntha Ekadashi. Ekadashi.
Ekadashi darshan.
Vaikuntha Ekadashi.
Yeah, even that killed 6 people. So
Yes.
even in that video, we mentioned that this is going to be a sign of something big that's going to happen. So that has happened. So that's one sign. Even after that, after the starting of this 45-day Maha Kumbh Mela that happens once in 144 years, just 3 days before this stampede, huge fire broke out in the tents in the Maha Kumbh Mela.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nobody was killed. But still, that's a sign something is going to happen here. So people nowadays they don't worry about this sign. In olden days, people will be so worried about if something bad happens because they know it's a
More of
sign.
ignorance.
Mm,
Here, more of ignorance is there.
ignorance,
They
yeah,
are not aware of it.
yeah. So they because they think there is no God. If you don't believe in God, then why are you going to Mahakumbh Mela in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Uh, and in Mahakumbh Mela, a girl from Karnataka, actually many from Karnataka died. Uh, so a girl from Karnataka was streaming live, uh, warning people uh, that don't come here on this particular day
Yeah.
because
Yeah. She was
it's very
begging
huge.
everybody,
Ah,
please don't come. And immediately after that video, she also passed away.
she died. Yeah, within 1 hour she died in that stampede.
Yeah.
So it's very
It's
sympathetic.
very tragic. Mhm.
Yeah. So now the question arises among actually atheists will be very happy on hearing this news. You know it, right?
Yes.
Because I know it very well because I was an atheist before. So whenever something
Acha.
bad happens in any Hindu temple, Christian temple, or a Muslim temple, I'll be very happy saying, "See, there is no God. How stupid they were." So one sister, she is from Russia, but she is living in India. Her YouTube channel is named India in Details. So
Mhm.
we are so much impressed about her love for India, although she is a Russian.
Russia.
I think she loves India more than Russia. So she fights back anyone who speaks bad of India.
Mhm.
She fights all foreign medias that were projecting this stampede into a very big thing, but they didn't pay any notice about the grandness of Mahakumbh Mela. But when something bad happens, they were quick to report it. So she was saying
Yes.
this.
Yes.
Yeah. And she said this the stampede, happens everywhere in all religions. In Mecca, it happens quite frequently.
Yes, yes,
So that's the biggest gathering. I think this gathering is bigger than that. This
yes.
Maha Kumbh Mela
This
gathering.
was more than 10 crore people.
Yeah. So it's a bigger gathering, but still they have managed nicely. But obviously, mistakes will happen. So we have to learn from mistakes. That's it. She was saying that, but and also she was saying atheists are beating their chest, saying proudly, "See, we are safe." You stupid people are going after God and losing your lives. And she says the same atheists, when they gather in pub to drink alcohol, stampede happens. So Western countries can't even handle the small gathering. Why are they blaming India, which is going to be the largest gathering in the entire world?
Mm,
So that's one of the
yeah,
reasons foreigners are attracted to this and they came here. They want to see the gathering. They become happy, whether or not they believe in God or not. So that's the day called Mauni Amavasya. So is that famous in your area also, sister?
yeah, yeah. Mavasa is as usual famous, and
Famous.
Mauni Amavasa it is remarkably more famous. And they say that you have to practice being silent.
Silent. That's why it's called Mauni.
Yeah,
Mauna
Mauni
means silent. Yeah.
Mauna.
Mm. But unfortunately, people,
Yeah,
I
this
think
tragedy took many people's life into silence.
many people's,
Life only was silent,
yeah,
like many passed away.
yeah, many passed away and they were sleeping when they were uh, trod upon by others, by the crowd. They were in the deep sleep, all, and I don't think they would have woken up when they started walking on them. But still, they
Walking.
couldn't do anything because the massive crowd was walking over them.
Yeah,
How can they
crores of
manage?
people. Yeah,
Yeah, it's so tragic.
unmanageable. But
Hmm.
the arrangements were made so well,
Yeah,
could accommodate so much of people. But still, what has to happen has happened.
that's happened. Yeah, that's fate,
Yeah,
which is very great
mm,
word in Hinduism. That's the fate
yeah.
because people may think someone from Karnataka he has sent his uh, wife and daughter. Actually, he not them told them not to go. They were actually trying to get their daughter married, but
Mhm,
she died. So that's the YouTuber who streamed that. But
mhm.
he's saying that I asked them not to go, but they said it happens only once in 144 years.
Good for years.
But
And many politicians also, like Mallikarjun Kharge and all, he
mm,
obliged people, please don't go. Do
mm,
whatever you have to do from the place where you are. Take a dip in the holy places nearby you. Don't go and overcrowd there. Actually, in my family also, they were planning to go via TT.
oh,
Some
on that
15 people
particular
were,
day, on Mauni Amasa.
yeah, they
Oh,
not on Mauni Amasa. After
mm.
that, after that,
After that, I think it's okay now. But only on that particular day, there were a huge crowd.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So
Even the politicians have tried to soothe down the people also.
oh,
Please don't overcrowd the place. It's already overcrowded.
oh,
See, there'll be some capacity. There'll be some limit for
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
You go beyond the limit, tragic only has to happen.
It has to happen. Yeah. It happens everywhere. So in Tirupati, in one cool stampede happens when everybody
Yes.
tried to get the ticket. It's a free ticket.
Yeah.
So that's why in Hinduism they say what is predestined has happened. So nothing to worry about it because people will be having the guilty feeling. If I
Mm.
tried hard not to let them go, they might have listened to me. So that's going to be the guilty feeling for them. But There's no
Yes.
need for it. So this is the fate. This is predestined. Nobody can do anything about it.
Yes.
Yeah. Only thing we can do is to give them peace.
Peace. Yeah.
We can't do anything else. But anyway, if they will be taking another body and they'll be living happily. So there's no need for them for to worry about them. The only thing is you have to worry about yourself.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
forget
People
them.
who have gone are gone.
Gone.
But
Yeah.
the coexist between the people who are alive here,
Yeah. Only
the
they have to
talk will
suffer.
go on forever and ever.
Yeah. That's the
And
thing.
it becomes a history also, part of a history also.
Yeah. Yes, sister.
Yeah, as we were
Mm,
talking about this stampede,
mm,
I just came over one incident which I was happened to
mm.
go there.
Oh.
In Karnataka, we have a famous Guruji, Anand Guruji.
Mm.
Uh, in his hometown, he had declared some free idol or some Sumangali
Oh.
yantra to be given.
Okay.
So he had arranged buses also, and he had arranged the ground and place and everything.
Mm.
But you can't imagine, almost all the buses were full,
Oh.
and the roads were jam packed.
Oh.
And people got down from the buses and started walking towards the
Mm.
desired place.
Okay.
And there was many stampede there also.
Oh. Death
And
happened.
I and my daughter were in one of the bus, stuck
Oh.
in one of the bus.
Mm.
Seeing the crowd, luckily we came back.
Wow.
We didn't want to go,
So many died in that
but there was
stampede.
stampede.
Oh.
Yes, there was
Good.
two or three deaths which happened.
Now,
So when people,
yeah, now we actually wonder about how Isha Yoga Sadhguru is managing huge crowd that comes in
yeah,
Shivratri.
huge.
That's
That's why
really,
he
mm,
designed his gathering in a very huge
yeah.
grounds.
So that's a very
And
good
he has a very
organization
good
skill.
team also.
Yeah, that's the thing. Or else stampede can happen anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah. So that's something he should be applauded for. Okay,
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
And another thing is usually, as you said, what they do in Mauni Amavasya is they will stay silent throughout the day.
Yeah.
Uh,
Throughout the
and
day.
also, it's famous for doing tarpan for our ancestors, Pitru Tarpan.
Ancestors.
Yeah.
Pitrus.
So, for their peace and to liberate, and for their liberation, and for our liberation from their curse. So, they are doing this.
Yeah. Blessings.
Yeah, to
Blessings
receive
from the
blessing and
ancestors.
also to get relieved from
Mm.
their curse of the ancestors.
Yes.
So that's why they do. But one thing we need to understand is, will the curse of ancestors affect us? They say Pitrudosh in astrology.
Pitrudosha. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pitrudosha.
because we see in some families that they will continuously fall ill, they will continuously die one after another. So, what's your thought about that, sister?
In our family, we have also done the Pitrudosh puja also.
Okay.
It was long behind
Hmm.
when my father-in-law passed away.
Hmm.
He met with an accident and he passed away.
Oh.
After a long suffering, also 11 months he suffered.
Hmm.
And in the same year, next year, his son, third son, passed away. In
Oh.
the same year, again, his wife passed away.
Oh.
In every year, there was one death.
Oh.
Every year, on exactly approximately as past me
Okay.
in that period.
So it is there
So
in
when we
astrology
consulted,
also. In their prediction also it's
yeah,
there.
then when we consulted
Hmm.
Purohit, then they said it's absolutely Pitrudosh, they are cursing.
Hmm.
You're part of their curse. You have
Oh.
to do so many rituals and all that.
Okay.
So we had to go to Gokarna and do so many practices, give the tarpan and do shanti and all that. So we had to believe
Yeah.
because one upon the other, one upon the other. came up.
Yeah.
And recently, maybe 2, 3 years back, when there was COVID,
Mm.
again my son, he accidentally went into depression.
Oh.
11 months he was not able to speak or
Oh.
talk or look into the light.
Mm.
Again, they said it is Pitrudosh.
Mm.
So again, we had to alter some of our house vastu and do so many rituals and all that.
Yeah.
So in this way, though we don't believe,
Mm.
that circumstances make us pray to it.
Yeah.
So we had to do, because 11 months he is not able to talk or eat his own food, do his own things.
Mm.
He's not able to see the light also.
Oh.
So it was a very tragic
Yeah. That has no
incident.
explanation at all. So we
Yes.
have no choice but to believe it.
And immediately in that period, the Graha period, they tell me, in that all the planets had locked him.
Oh.
That's what the astrologer told. And
Mm.
immediately after that period of his thing, he almost became normal.
Wow. He became normal. Now he's fine.
He became normal. He
Wow.
was very irritant and all that.
Mm.
After that period, we did many shantis and all that. We had to do. We were compelled to do. You believe it or not, for the sake of
Yeah.
my son, I had to do.
Yeah. Because
And it was
that's
a period where
yeah. That's good thing
it
about
was my
Hinduism, I
daughter's
believe.
marriage also.
Mm.
The marriage is 15 days.
Mm.
Prior to my daughter's marriage, this thing had happened.
Oh.
So I had to manage the marriage
Oh.
function also, and I had to manage him also.
Wow.
It
That's
was
the
a
biggest
very
challenge
tough
for
time.
you. So according to Brahma Kumaris, that's the biggest test paper for you
Really,
to
really,
keep it
I have
balanced.
very big test papers
Yeah.
where Baba has been with me and he has done a
Mm.
great
That's
job.
amazing. That's amazing.
So
I think
hats
that's
off to
good
him.
thing. That's good thing about Hinduism because it gives you the confidence
Mm,
that there is a way out.
yes, yes,
That's the thing. But other religions they don't say anything. You just keep praying, keep crying. That's it. Let it solve
yes,
on its own. So people just cry and cry. But here, whether it's true or not, but we have something to hold on to. Changing the vastu, doing some other parihara. So that gives us the confidence that this will end.
yes.
So that's one good thing
So
about it.
earlier I also didn't believe so much in this Pitrudosha and this
Yeah.
soul coming and disturbing.
Mm.
I said their part is over. Now they'll be in some other form
Good.
where they'll continue. Why will they come back?
Mm.
But these incidents made me open my eyes. Yes, they can come back. They can disturb you.
Mm.
They can taunt you. They can do anything
That's true.
if they are not satisfied. It
Mm.
may be not this janmas or some other previous janmas, so whatever balance is there, they somehow have to clear it.
Sure, sure.
So they have to come back.
Yeah. Karma
So
is
this
true.
opened my eyes. Yeah.
Law
This
of
really
karma is,
opened my
yeah,
eyes.
that's true. There are many things God doesn't say it just because He doesn't want to frighten you beforehand. But He's
No, we
giving the
are more
signal.
stubborn. No, we tell no. I know everything. I
Yeah.
we'll be in that state of mind.
Yeah.
We'll tell, see, you
But
can do.
anyway, He says detach yourself. If we are fully
Yes,
detached, we will have nothing to worry about.
worry about
Yeah, that's the thing. Just see, so go with our family members, whatever they believe, just go on with it. Uh, just be a detached observer, then we will not be affected. But if we pay no attention to that practice, when the test paper comes, only then we will realize that we have done a
it.
grave mistake by not following his order.
Yes, sure.
Uh, till then, everything will be fine. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So, uh, so this is true. That ancestors' curse is true. But one thing we don't understand is when some of our ancestors are cursing, we will definitely be the ones who were being cursed by them because we were also
Yes,
there
yes,
back then. That's why we are
yeah,
suffering that. Not because he is cursing somebody else, we are suffering that. So that's something,
No, no.
even in Bible and Quran, it's mentioned like that. But they have no faith in rebirth. So they think
Yes.
it is because ancestor got the curse from God, their grandchildren had to suffer. But that has no logic. It was us in our past births who get cursed by others due to our past or arrogant behavior. So now what we need to do is all about Mauni Amavasya. So what they do on Mauni Amavasya is they remain silent. It's not difficult to remain silent in a silent place, but it is difficult to remain silent in a place surrounded where silence is not there. Uh, so due to our
Yes,
past
we were
karma,
speaking how to be in silent even in a disturbed place.
disturbed place. So we are experiencing it right away.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So uh, due to our past karma, obviously we will be born into a family where we are surrounded by those who actually have cursed us or have taken curse from us. So obviously there will be those sanskars or characters that actually try to take peace away from us, because only those whom you get easily irritated will be coming into your proximity. So all we need to do is to stay silent. That's actually Mauni Amavasya. Because Amavasya means no moon. No moon means darkness. So now
That.
this is a 5,000 year time cycle where we are at the
Mm.
just end of the destruction of the world. Just 100 years before the destruction of the world, God Shiva, who is also called Allah or Heavenly Godfather by other religions, God is just one. He enters an old man's body and he names him Brahma and he gives this knowledge. And the essence of that knowledge is God created this world as heaven in the beginning, 5,000 years back, continued to be heaven for the first 2,500 years. Then it slowly becomes hell. When we start committing sin in the beginning, for which we get eventually punished in the form of diseases, loss of wealth, loss of beauty, and many diseases, natural calamities, and finally the world war that destroys the world altogether. So we are at the verge of it. Now God says, in heaven you did not commit any sin because you have no idea of what lust, anger, greed, attachment, and ego are. You are completely free from these five vices. But it is when, after completing 2500 years, this world becomes hell, when you start falling for sin. What is the reason? Because in heaven, people were so beautiful and they were living in palaces built out of golden bricks, that rich. But there were no lust, no greediness, nothing of that sort existed there. How is that possible? God says, because they were constantly happy. How is that possible? Because their happiness did not depend on the external things. Instead, they themselves were the embodiment of happiness. By them, God means the soul. We are not this body, we are actually the soul that resides in between the eyebrows. It is the soul that sees through the eyes, speaks through the mouth, listens through the ear, performs every single act through our body. And they know it all the time. They were in that awareness, no matter what they do. If they interact with each other, not only they consider themselves to be souls, but also consider the one they are speaking with as the soul. So, so their focus is in between the eyebrows, nowhere around it. They were so focused. They have that much power of concentration. How is it possible for them? Because that's the power of purity. They were so pure. They didn't know anything about these five vices and they did not get attracted to anything. They'll be enjoying the richness of heaven without getting attached. Actually, that's the goal of everybody, right? Everybody wants to enjoy without getting the other side of it, which is sorrow and pain. People want to get married and live in happiness forever, which is not possible now. But that's possible there because they were not attached to it. So nowadays, people, the only thing they know is when they get sorrow, they divorce. They issue divorce because they have no solution for it, or they don't get married at all. But they get married. They even have children. Then the question arises: if there is no lust, how did they give birth to children? God says that happens when husband and wife have the thought of having a baby, the wife gets pregnant, not by having any physical contact. They were that pure. That's the reason Hindus worship them as deities in temples. It is because they were also humans just like us, but they were filled with divine qualities. They are called deities, devatas. So, where have they all gone? God says they have gone nowhere else. It's just you and me. So, we were deities in the beginning. We were that pure. But after taking several rebirths, we slowly develop body conscious because we lose the concentration power to focus on the soul. So, we no longer get happiness from the soul that we received while in heaven. So, we had to depend on the external things and the external beings for our happiness. But that is short lived and they deceive. So we go after everything and everybody in seeking pleasure, but the end result is always getting deceived. So while indulging in sensual pleasures for happiness, the soul power gets drastically reduced. And to the extent it can no longer differentiate between right and wrong. So that's the biggest problem here now in Kali Yuga. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. They think all wrong things to be right, all right things to be wrong. So nobody's there to guide us. No religion, no religious gurus, nobody. Because everybody they have become tamopratan. That is uh, the stage of
The depletion.
degradation.
They have depleted their qualities.
Yeah. So we need, we badly need somebody to guide us in the right path. None other than God has this knowledge. So he himself has to come from the supreme abode. And as a matter of fact, we souls resided with him before coming here. And we will be going there after leaving this body at the time of world destruction. God has come to take us back. For that, the first lesson he teaches us is that you are not this perishable body, but an imperishable soul that shines like a tiny star in between the eyebrows, which is why Hindus apply tilak here. So consider yourself to be soul and remember the father of all souls, who is God. So we have physical father that's separate for everybody. But for all souls, the father is just one, who is called Supreme Soul, Paramatma. He is called Shiva by Hindus, Allah by Muslims, Heavenly Godfather by Christians. God is just one for everybody. God is one. He comes only once, not to establish any religion, but to establish heaven free of any religion, free of any sorrow. Because they had no idea of these five vices, God asked us to forget everything in this world because we get attached to everything. So, how do we forget? God says, how does a girl forget her parents' home? It's by getting married. After getting married, it's very easy for her to forget the parents' home. because she is getting love from her husband. But God says, I'm the husband of all husbands. Parampati, Patika Pati. So he's the husband of all husbands.
Patiyon
And
ka pati
uh,
patiyon ka pati
Patiyon ka Pati.
parama.
Yeah. And also Pitavon ka Pita, Parampita. So you have to remember him as much as possible, no matter what you do. You eat, walk, talk, whatever you do, just have God in your mind as your father, mother, whatever relationship you want to establish with him. This is the only time. So people take bath in Mauni Amavasya thinking that that's the auspicious time that you will get only after 144 years. What about God? If you miss him, he is going to come only after 5,000 years. Nowhere in between God comes. So if you miss it now, it's in mute, sister.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There they're missing for 144 years. Here
yeah.
we'll be missing our great father for 5,000 years,
5,000
which is
years.
more
Yeah.
valuable. Yeah.
You're not going to lose anything if you lose this Maha Kumbh Mela, because Ganges is going to be there, Yamuna is going to be there, Triveni Sangam is going to be there all the time. Actually, it was there even in heaven. If taking bath in Triveni Sangam is going to purify you, then you wouldn't have been in hell now. So that should say
Mm.
that taking bath in water is not going to purify your soul. Maybe it may cleanse your body, but soul is not something that water can touch. So that's why it's in Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned soul cannot be moistened, cannot be ignited, cannot be cut into piece. It is imperishable. But it is sinful because it takes the sanskars from the past of these five vices. So we have to get rid of those five vices by not seeing this world anymore, not listening to this world anymore. So you should develop the practice of not seeing while seeing, not listening while hearing. So that is something we can learn from teenage lovers. When they are in love, although they speak with their parents, but their mind will be attached to the loved ones instead of parents.
Yes.
Likewise, our
Yes.
mind should be attached to God. Only then you will not see what you are seeing. So that takes effort and time. The more you spend your time in remembrance of God as a point of light, I have forgotten to say this. God is also a soul. He is also as tiny as our soul. It is the tiniest thing in the world. That's why nobody sees God, nobody sees souls. And he shines like a tiny star in the golden red colored light world. We souls resided with him, we are going to reside with him. So we have to remember God like a star shining in the golden red colored sky all the time. That's it. Before that, we have to consider ourselves to be souls. That's essential too. So by remembering God all the time, we become strong in being soul conscious, in seeing each other as soul. So we no longer get disturbed, distracted. So eventually we will be able to conquer lust, enmity, attachment, everything that causes us pain. Instead,
Yes.
we'll be
The
getting,
soul becomes more pure and pure.
yeah, more and more pure. And also we have to imbibe the teachings of God Shiva that is available in all Brahmakumaris Rajyog Meditation Center in the form of Murli. You can Google it yourself. If you can't find time to go to attend Brahmakumari centers regularly, then you can find it online. You can just Google it, Brahmakumaris Murli in Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, whatever language you are interested in. It is there. But remember, my dear brothers and sisters, the world is going to end anytime soon. We are seeing world destruction everywhere. Think about the fire that has brought the whole uh, big city in America.
Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
yeah. And how about landslide that happened in Wayanad, Kerala, that has bring down the whole village?
Yeah.
It takes just a second. Nobody
A
knows when is
sample of
our time.
one tattva.
Hmm.
It's a sample of one tattva. When all the five tattvas happen together,
What will happen?
imagine how the state of is.
Yeah. Actually,
Only God's power have to save this.
yeah. It's not strange if we find road accidents daily, but it's very strange that we are seeing flight accidents daily now. 2 days back, helicopter crashed with an aeroplane mid-air. That's unimaginable. And now again another aeroplane accident in the same America. So it's a warning for us. Even what happened in Kumbh Mela is a warning for us. But in the very same Kumbh Mela, Brahmakumari stall is also there. It's very grand with Sri Krishna
Yes.
statue. It's so realistic, the sceneries of heaven. But it's very unfortunate. No YouTuber is interested in going there. I don't know what they find in picturizing people taking bath for 45 days. They are interested in going after a girl called Mona Lisa who sold Rudrakshamala. But they don't know the real Kumbh Mela that's happening there. Real Kumbh Mela is not the meeting of the rivers or meeting of river with ocean. That is the not the meeting of the water river and water ocean, but it is the river of knowledge and the meeting of river of knowledge, which is souls, with the ocean of knowledge, which is God Shiva. He comes to earth to give this knowledge. So it is only by taking this knowledge we will be able to attain mukti, which is the liberation from this old world, going back to where we came from. But that's not permanent. Anyway, you have to come down, be it in heaven or in hell. But when you have the choice of going to heaven, why lose it? And God wants you to fill with everything He has. He's giving us all the knowledge He has. But people are going after spiritual gurus who has no knowledge at all. That's so unfortunate. In the same Maha Kumbh Mela, Isha Yoga Sadguru went. People are going after him, taking interviews after interview. But nobody worried about going into the Brahmakumari's stall. And I don't know why Brahmakumaris are not interested in giving interviews either. They should have come and asked, we will be explaining this, right? Chances we have to create. They should have done it. I don't know why they didn't, or whether media is not interested in them. I don't know. But what does Sadhguru have? He just, one media person was asking, why Sadhguru, what's special about this Prayagraj? He says, taking bath is nice. Is that a spiritual answer? And she is asking, very nice question. Yeah, but we can take it from our home. We can take bath in our home. Why should we take bath in public? And he was saying at a particular time of the year, when this water stream meets, there is something phenomenal happens. What is that something phenomenal? It's because people are not intelligent enough to ask him, so he is just blabbering whatever he wants. And unfortunately, people are flocking after him like anything. So that's called Kali Yuga, Gor Kali Yuga. So that's why in Hindi they
Wonderful.
say Vinash Kale Vibrit Buddhi. Yeah, people are not interested in knowing about God. They're ready to sacrifice their life in the Prayagraj river rather than getting knowledge from God, which is very simple. See, God doesn't let you wander from temple to temple, river to river. That's the work of Maya. Once, see, it's your aim to attain God, right? He has come, my dear brothers and sisters. He has come. He has been waiting for you. He is sending us messengers to give this message to you, which is very simple. You be at home. If you think that going to Brahmakumaris daily for 1 hour, that's something you can't afford, okay, be at home. Just be in remembrance of God. You don't have to spend a single rupee, but you can become the king and queen of heaven. That is Lakshmi and Narayan. That's why in Vaikuntha Ekadashi they have this opening ceremony of heaven. Nowhere in the world they have such celebration. That proves India was heaven. And Lakshmi Narayan were the emperor and empress of heaven. You can become
This
them.
is the Yadgar. This is the
Yeah,
Yadgar, means the
yeah,
example.
that's true.
Earlier, Bharat was heaven, and
Mm.
now we are again going back to our original originality, that is Swarg,
Yeah, this
where
world
Devi
will
Devatas
automatically
are there.
become heaven, but we will not automatically become deities. We have to put effort.
Put effort. Sato Pradhan
Yeah,
आना है.
nothing
From
comes
Tamo Pradhan,
automatically. Yeah. So,
we have to transform ourselves.
yeah, when the same question is asked to Isha Yoga Sadguru, he says, he creates a new time cycle. Because even in Hinduism, this cycle is there, except the lifespan of the cycle is big there. They say it as lakhs of years.
Yes.
But what he says is, first Satyug, then Tretayug, then Dwapar then Kali then again Kali then Dwapar then Tretayug, then Satyug, again Satyug. What he tries to say is, it automatically happens based on the movement of the planets. So that's the basics of his teaching. Then what's the need for him to install Shiva statue, Shivling? And pretty soon in Bangalore, he is going to install Trishul. What's he going to
Yeah.
say? For Shiva, he says that's Adi Yogi. Okay. Uh, for Trishul, what are you going
For
to say?
Trishul,
What are you going to say? So that actually,
Trishul is nothing but Trimurti. Trimurtis.
yeah,
Brahma, Vishnu,
that's the
Maheshwari.
knowledge, weapon of knowledge. We don't kill each other. If somebody kills each other, they won't worship them. So that's the weapon of knowledge to kill Maya that is within us. That's the reason for making us from prince to beggar. So using the weapon of knowledge that God gives, that we destroy Maya and take our heaven back. That's our kingdom. That's not somebody else's. We ruled it. We lost it. So our enemy is not Mughals or British, but Maya within us. We have to conquer them. So those the Trishul, the trident, represents the knowledge of three times: past, present, and future. In the past, we were the emperor and empress of heaven, and we have lost it due to our addiction to vices and sensual pleasures because of body consciousness. By conquering body consciousness and five vices, in future we will become what we were. That is Lakshmi and Narayan or deities. So we have to remember this constantly. That's how we will be able to give up our attachment towards uh, anybody, anything, fame, even our own body. So when you are able to be soul conscious all the time, see each other as soul conscious naturally, no matter what happens right in front of you, nothing can shake your happiness off. You will be in constant happiness. So
Very true. Practicing soul consciousness is the only thing where you can attain
yeah,
God consciousness.
this is the knowledge God gives. This is the good thing that comes out of Maha Kumbh Mela. Maha Kumbh Mela means joining or meeting of the Supreme Soul and souls. father and son. And also it means it's a 5,000 year time cycle called kalpa. So meeting of one kalpa and another kalpa, just like January
Kalpa.
1 or December 31 night. So that's when the last year and the new year meets. We celebrate it
Yes.
like that. Now, in this confluence of the kalpa, God comes and makes us eligible to enter heaven. That actually it is the mark of this 100 years. We celebrate every single function in every religion. Diwali, we lit lamps in our house. So this is the house where souls reside. When the soul is
Yes.
ignited, then that's Diwali. That happens in heaven. Now we
Yes.
are
Enlightenment of all this.
enlightenment. They say enlightenment, right? Wow, that's nice.
Yes.
So, Sadguru, Isha Yoga Sadguru says, I have to say Isha Yoga Sadguru because true Sadguru is God, not any human. So, Isha Yoga Jaki Vasudev says, uh, it is his ambition that everybody should take at least a drop of spirituality. But we worry whether he will take a drop of true spirituality. He is the only soul who doesn't speak anything about soul, still claims to be a spiritual guru. How is that possible? He says darkness is God. He says everything is God. Yeah, that's that's Kali Yuga. That's Gor Kali Yuga. People go after false things.
People are actually confused whom to follow, whom
Come
not
to
to
follow.
follow, where to
Yeah,
go, what to do. So
yeah,
they are in the total confusion unless
yes,
and until you are have that urge that I have to transform. I have to search for the real true peace. I have to search for my real father. Unless until the soul actually wants it, the tapan. Yes, I want. The thirst. Unless the soul has that thirst, it cannot happen as it is.
yeah. And also
So
luck plays
it
the
soul have
and also luck plays the part, sister. Because I was an atheist before. I was fighting in a online forum, like a Rajini Kamal fight, fa- fight between fans. All of a sudden, one guy, he's a Rajini fan. He was saying to one girl who was shouting against Rajini fans. She's a Kamal fan. He was saying, "You should meditate. You are getting so angry." Just on hearing that word, he was not saying that to me. He was saying to that girl in text, not even audible. So I was reading it. Then I was searching in YouTube what is meditation. Throughout the night, I was searching for it. I was watching Osho. I was watching Jiddu Krishnamurti. First, I watched Isha Yoga Sadgurus. Immediately, I find it cannot be true. Then I watched Osho. There is something to it. Jiddu Krishnamurti. Yeah, there seems there is some because they were speaking about mind. Sadhguru doesn't speak anything about mind. He's speaking about controlling breathing, bending body, all these things. So how is it possible? Because I don't think I was not thirsty. It just happened just like that. Just a spark. It's a
second
matter
में
of luck
जीवन
too.
मुक्ति.
Yeah. And that's why God says only
They
deity
don't.
souls will be attracted towards this knowledge. But it is our duty to give this to everybody because everybody needs mukti. Everybody has to leave this planet for it to become heaven. So
That
be
is
a
our original house where everyone has to go back.
yeah,
So
that's the home
everyone needs
for
to
all
know about it
religions.
because it's our return journey. We have to get
Yeah,
our passport ready to go back.
yeah. For that, all you need to do is you have to remember how rebirth happens. So if you remember somebody at the time of death, for example, if you're living in India, your loved one is in America. If you are remembering them, obviously you remember them at the time of death, right? When you remember them, in that very instant, your soul will be taking birth somewhere near there in America. It takes not even a second, less than that. It's that fast. Now, if you don't want to take birth here, because we are seeing rape after rape, many sort of injustice happening all over the world, and also food scarcity, uh, destruction of all sorts are happening. Corona, COVID, lockdown, another lockdown might come up pretty soon. So before that, if you want to leave this place, all you need to do is not to remember anything of this place. If you remember anything, you will be pulled towards here, because soul is very tiny. Nonetheless, it is within the soul, mind and intellect is there. So whatever mind creates thoughts, soul will be pulled towards that. As long as you are in this body, even if you think somebody in America, you can't take this body in a second. But once you leave this body, it's very easy for it to take you wherever your mind wants
Will
you
be
to
there.
go.
Yeah.
So that's the reason God says, don't think of anything else here. Remember, only God in the gold and red colored light world, not here. Because that's where you need to go. That's the home for souls. And also remember the heaven where you need to come down again. So that's the voiceless world. Everybody will be very rich, very beautiful, peaceful, blissful. Even lion and cow take water from the same pond, which means they don't hurt each other. They feed on plants. So you need to imbibe those characters for you to take birth there. So for that, all you need to do is to be in remembrance of God. Only then you will be attaining mukti. Just think for yourself whether immersing yourself in any holy water, sacred river is going to change your character, or by remembering God and listening to God's knowledge is going to change your character. Decide for yourself. That's what God says. You decide for yourself whether what God says is right, or what you have been listening so far is right. So you have to decide for yourself. So this is the only way to attain mukti. God has come. So remember God as a point of light, and your aim is to become is to claim the highest status in heaven, which is Lakshmi and Narayan. So it's up to you. If you are 100% making effort in forgetting everything of this world and be in constant remembrance of God, then nobody can stop you from becoming Lakshmi or Narayan. You can become, because worshipping them is the path of devotion. Now it ends. Now the path of knowledge begins for the next 2500 years. Now it's time for you to become the deity, not to worship deity, because we were deities in the beginning. So only in Brahmakumaris you will get this knowledge. Nowhere else in the world you will ever get this knowledge. Om Shanti. Thanks for watching. And instead of risking your life going to those pilgrimage places, you can be at home, be in remembrance of God. You can go to those pilgrimage places to give this knowledge. So if you
To
are.
give vibrations, I go to temples. Not that
Mm,
I don't go to temples. I
mm,
go to temples, visit temples.
mm.
Unless and I go, if I don't go to temples, then how will I get to know about people? So, like this, going to temple, I
Yeah.
have taken two or three people. Looking at me, they call me Shiv Baba. Rajini Shiv Baba, they write as a surname.
Wow.
They
Like a
tell,
Rajini
please take
Osho.
me to your center.
It's nice. Okay.
So,
So,
like Hanuman who
yeah,
sits near the temple, I go visit. Let me to know what is happening outside. If
yeah,
I am inside, how will I know?
that's true. Only
So
if
in
you
this
go
way,
to
I visit
temple,
temples.
only if you go to temple, watch at least watch serials of Rama and Mahabharat, will we be able to make them understand the true meaning of it. If we ourselves do not know them, then how can we speak to them? For example, you can see in some temples there will be idols that's very lustful. It's very awkward to look at. So that actually says we were free of vice in the beginning, but after taking several rebirths, we become lustful. So it is our story or story of Bharat. So that's the thing. You can understand Bible, Quran, Ramayana only after taking this knowledge, or else you can never understand anything. For example, what's the uh, essence of Ramayana? Ram first renounced his kingdom when he is made to. Very happily, he is leaving the kingdom. Nonetheless, he is unable to renounce his wife that soon. That's why he is fighting with Ravan, which means he couldn't conquer lust in the beginning, but he conquers attachment towards the material thing. But lust, that's why lust is the greatest enemy. So finally, he is able to conquer that also. That's why he sends back Sita again. After walking on fire, after he takes her back, again he sends her back, which means now he has conquered lust. Now, when there is no lust between husband and wife, they are more like brothers and sisters. So, or you can call them as brothers because all souls are sons of God because we inherit his inheritance, that is heaven. That's why we are called sons. So, Ram's intention
And,
is Ram's intention is to make
and
Sita, yes, sister.
and even they tell Purusharth. Purusharth is for the Atma. Atma is Purush.
Yeah,
It doesn't have any ling. No gender for Atma.
Atma. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, but here the reason we are calling it as male is we inherit. That's it. So,
Yeah.
uh, and um, do you think anybody will take his wife soon after marriage along with their brother? Not wife's brother, your brother. Will you be doing that? So that should say there is something you can't understand. That's a deep spiritual meaning. It is his intention to convert Sita into Lakshman, that is, into his brother. So that's why after sending Sita, Lakshman is with him. Now, after conquering lust, still there will be attachment with the wife. So you have to conquer that attachment, which finally happens when he sends his brother Lakshman away from him. Finally, only after that he takes bath in Sarayu and gets liberated. Doesn't mean just by taking bath in Sarayu he gets liberated. The path he has been following is the way to attain moksha or to attain heaven. But the his taking bath in Sarayu means taking bath in the ocean of knowledge. That is the knowledge of God Shiva. That doesn't represent the water river. So that is there in all religion. Even in Christianity, they say Nyan Snan. They immerse you in water. How will we get purified?
Velangani. They go to Velangani.
Melangani, yeah, they do that. But it doesn't happen like that, brothers and sisters. Of course, it's not our mistake that we don't understand it because nobody knows it. It's not in any scripture. So only when God comes, He says this, and we are saying that to everybody. Even in Bible and Quran, God asks Abraham to give up his wife and child, and he gives them up. Doesn't mean God is going to ask us to give up our wife and children. Just means detach yourself at a mental level. They are just your brothers, brother souls. That's it. You have to look after them, but without getting attached. That's the essence of all religion. And how do you achieve that? Only by being in remembrance of God. Only by attaching yourself to God. Only by having all relationships with God that is possible. So that is the true Maha Kumbh Mela. You know what? There is no need to hurry. Still, some years are left, but sooner the better. Go to Brahma Kumari Center. It's there across the globe, in every town, city, in India, and also in all nations. You will find Brahma Kumari Center. You can Google it yourself. So, thank you so much for watching, my dear brothers and sisters. Thank you so much, sister, for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you, sister.
Thank you, brother. It was so nice to participate with you and share the knowledge and exchange my views also. And thanks to
Okay,
Sri Baba and this knowledge.
okay, sister.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sister. Om Shanti.